Hey guys, here another episode of Trainer Confidential. I know last week we were talking about doing a video on a subject matter, which we are still going to do, but pretty crazy thing happened this weekend. That was a Mr. Olympia, so we got a little sidetracked with that. And we want to go over that show with you guys. If you guys didn't already see it, it was amazing. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over a
Yeah,
recap of the show. So,
yeah,
hey, how you doing tonight, Donnie?
not bad. It was one of the better ones in a while.
Oh man, since the early '90s, right?
Yeah, probably not that far back, but it was one of the better ones. And you got the changing of the guard, you got the new guard coming in and stuff,
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
it wasn't so predictable. I mean, there
Yeah,
was a lot of surprises,
exactly.
man. Of course, for a couple of people it was, but yeah, yeah,
Not many. I mean, we were talking about that earlier in the lineup that people were talking about is not how it played out.
yep, yep.
Everybody had Ramy up on the top on a pedestal, and well, he didn't do so hot. So
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the minute he walked, I mean, my eyes were just automatically just drawn to Honey.
yeah,
I mean, it just, it's fairly similar to what Sean Clarita did in his class. It was kind of like that. My eyes were just drawn to him, and also, I mean, you know, what's the guy that took second? What's his
Lunsford.
Lunsford, yeah, yeah, Lunsford. Lunsford. He really came out and stuff. And
Yeah,
both of these guys are 212 guys.
yeah.
The former 212 guys.
And they were standing next to each other the whole time too. So it's like same thing with me. I see Ramy walk out. I seen everybody walk out, and Ramy's off the right. I'm looking right here I'm looking right off the left in the middle at Lunsford and Hottie the whole time. Like
Yeah,
that's where
I
your eyes
mean,
are drawn.
yeah, I mean, the thing about with Honey, with Big Rammy, I call him Pharaoh. I mean, his wow factor, it just wasn't there. I mean, granted, I mean, he looked okay,
Yeah,
but when you're the reigning Mr. Olympia, I'm
yeah.
sorry, your standard is just going to be a lot
You
higher
got you got to bring
than
it, man.
everybody else's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, if the absolute minimum you can do is bring in the best package, the best last package that you brought in. That's
yeah.
at the absolute least is what you can do and stuff. And he clearly wasn't where he was when he won that first Olympia. So
Well, and it's like you said, you take any of those guys by themselves, and they look like a Mr. Olympia right off the bat. But you put them next to everybody else in a lineup, and things change.
yeah, I mean,
you know,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
that change. So I kind of wanted to talk about what happened with Ramy. I mean, I did a little research, watched some videos and stuff. I got
Yeah,
my opinions. I think we kind of both have the same opinion on that, but let's kind of talk about what happened. I mean, uh, you know,
I,
uh, uh, go ahead.
I think the piece that kind of gave me the better insight is the person that was closest to him, and that was Dennis James. Listening to Dennis James's spill on it and stuff, and Dennis was like, hey, look, he was on point. He was on point, and we looked at some of the clips,
Mm-hmm.
of him, and I saw that one where he was really depleted and stuff, because I was kind of questioning why they would have him, eating pizza, and the only thing I can really draw up was that he was just so depleted,
Yeah,
that they had to do a little bit of shit loading and stuff instead of just
yeah,
carb loading, you know. But I don't know. Even though you get even there's three phases in lean out, dry out, fill out, and Ronda's never really really fat. You know what I mean? He doesn't really get fat on the off season. I've never seen the guy fat before, and
mm-hmm.
so I'm pretty sure he was lean enough. But it just goes to show you that dry out and that fill out, it still has it. You just can't get lean and then just blase go through the
Yeah.
dry out and fill out and stuff.
You're not done yet.
If you don't nail either one of those, you're still going to be off.
Yeah,
You're going to be off even though you're lean enough. And
yeah,
so you really gotta get that dry out and fill out phase, squared away and stuff. I don't, and I don't know whether whether I don't know how he dried out, and I don't know how he filled out neither, but I know he was eating
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. It was a clip of him eating pizza. I mean, when I seen him, I mean, I watched prejudging and I watched the finals. Uh, and what I noticed, one big thing I noticed about Ramy is he was really tired. I mean, later in the night, I mean, well, and let's throw this in there too. They did prejudging at what, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
And I have to agree with Chris Estito. To have athletes, doing prejudging typically when at night is when you don't look your best. You
that's right.
typically
Yeah,
look your best in earlier in the day, like in the morning. I mean, I just, I don't know if we're taking in a lot of consideration for the competitors and stuff.
probably not. I mean, and
You know.
even the finals. I mean, I got done watching it like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think is when it ended. You know, I guess they're Eastern time over there, right? I don't know what the
Something.
difference is.
Well, it was in Vegas.
Yeah, so is that the same time we have here? Is that
Yeah,
Pacific
yeah.
or?
Vegas is same.
Oh,
Vegas, yeah.
so 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when it was over. I mean, for finals, that's nuts. See, you're
Yeah,
waiting around for 2 days, dry as hell, thirsty. I mean, you feel like crap, and it's just for 2 whole days. that's that's
yeah.
hardcore, man.
Yeah, that to be in diurese that long, and the longer you're in diurese, depending on how you're doing it and stuff, the the riskier it is, for
Yeah,
something
yeah,
to go
yeah.
wrong and stuff.
Medically, yeah.
So my rule of
So
thumb is you want to be in diurese as short as possible,
sure,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. But like I said, I noticed Ramy. He looked really tired. He was having a hard time holding those poses at the end. He was having a hard time. He was stumbling a little bit when he was doing his side poses and all of
Mhm.
that. I mean,
Mhm.
so that just goes. He was depleted like crazy. I really think he was, and he was on point before that. I just don't think he either didn't fill out enough or he didn't get the he didn't. I mean, he could have been holding water. He wasn't sweating on stage or nothing noticeable, but
Mhm.
he was just he was I don't even know what the word for it was.
Yeah, he
Soft,
was
he's
to
soft
me.
looking.
Yeah, to me, he was lackluster. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like you said, I mean, standing by himself and stuff. I mean, it's Randy. I mean, he would
Yeah,
look good, but the thing about it is this: it doesn't help when you got two competitors that are just on point. You can even throw in Walker on that too.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
these guys were on point.
yeah.
And if Pharaoh had that wow factor that he typically has, then we would be having a different conversation. But he didn't have it. And the thing about it is this, and the thing about is he's always had an issue with consistency.
Yeah.
And I figured that Chad and Dennis, I mean, you can't get a better combination than that, Chad and Dennis. And I figured, that especially after the second win and stuff, that maybe they had got this inconsistency ironed out, because for years these shows have always been Ramy's to lose, and he's lost more than he's actually won. I mean, he's the one that actually lost the shows because he wasn't ready. He didn't bring the wow factor that he's known for. But when he has it, I mean, it's on.
That's on. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they're also saying, because he was supposed to guest pose at the Pittsburgh
And some
Pro
yeah, some political stuff.
and some other stuff. I could see that in a way, but what I don't see, okay, so what they're saying, if you guys didn't notice, he, when you're asked to guest pose as a pro by Jim Mannion, you go guest pose because this is your career. He's the one paying your bills. You go do what he says. As a matter of fact, Lunsford, I mean, he went and guest posed at the Pittsburgh, and that knocked him up a couple ranks. I mean, from that was good for his career. From just that, not only that, people were looking at him like because he looked best on the stage then, and he was he didn't know if he was going to do 212 or
Yeah.
open at that point. But But anyway, so he didn't go do all this guest posing. So the theory is, oh well, they knocked him for this was his form of a punishment. That's why we put him off all the way to the right and all that. You know, I gotta say no on that because your eyes were not on him, and that's the whole thing about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
uh,
yeah. I was
whether
just
there's some political crap around that or not, the only political stuff that I noticed was Ramy shouldn't even have got fifth. He should have been sixth. Samson had Ramy beat, and that's what I think. That's the only political thing and that's and he actually got some cash out of the deal because if he would have got six, he wouldn't have got nothing. So if anything, they did him a solid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I have to agree with you on that. I don't think that hypothesis actually holds a lot of water because
No.
my deal is it wasn't like he had that wow factor, and I'm looking at Ramy and I'm saying, well, why isn't Ramy
What's
in
he
the
doing
center?
over there?
Or you could say, well, he's just so good, they're not going to even compare him. That happens every now and then and stuff. I mean, so they left him out there because this is already done. But the thing about it is this. I'm looking at it with my own eyes, and clearly it's not done.
Yeah.
That was not the case. You're looking at him over there. There's a reason why he's over there.
Yeah.
And to me, the reason was he just didn't have the wow factor to be competitive in this lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a tough lineup. That was a tough lineup.
It was a tough lineup. I mean, from first all the way to fourth. When did he get? Fourth, fifth?
He got fifth.
He got fifth? Okay.
So it went Chupin
Yeah.
first, Lunsford second, Walker third, Curry fourth, and then fifth for Ramy.
Yeah. Okay.
Which Curry too, man. He's good. He's always up there. But he was just a little off this time too, which I don't know what. Maybe he's just getting older or
he's consistent.
he is consistent.
I mean,
yeah,
he's consistent. But the thing about it with Curry is just his he's full and everything. It's just his degree of separation isn't quite where everybody else's is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean he's bubbly, and which is good, and he's got great shape and stuff like that, But then he's but when you go against people that have that Olympia type conditioning and stuff, I mean and the thing about it is this: they had decent shape. Their shape wasn't quite as good as his. I would say maybe Lunsford, but when you get the shape and this, I mean, you get the separation that they've got, and he doesn't quite have that and stuff, Great physique though.
Oh yeah,
physique.
Yeah, top notch physique. I mean,
but I tell you, if he had like the separation that like a Lunsford or a Shupin, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. I don't know whether he's just got thick skin. You know what I mean?
That's what they were talking about, that maybe he just has thicker skin.
Right. And the beauty about thick skin is that it makes you look younger. You know what I mean? But the bad thing about it is, in a bodybuilding perspective, if you got two people that have zero fat between the muscle and the skin, the person with the thinner skin is going to look more conditioned than the person with the thicker skin. And I don't know how you thin your skin out. I mean,
yeah,
your skin is your skin. So
yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Lunsford and Chupin, man, they were both 12 competitors. Lunsford won it last year.
Mm-hmm.
I know, there was a big conspiracy this year about Lunsford. Well, he was sitting at like 260 or something like that. People like, there's no way he's going to do the 212. He'd have to jeopardize muscle. He's just too big. And there was a conspiracy too with who his new coach was, it's just all for
show. I didn't see him doing 212. I mean, after looking at him in Pittsburgh and stuff, he was like, what was it, like pushing 250?
Yeah. Yeah, he was, I think he was 260 then.
But the thing about it, I don't know why people see this as really kind of odd, because I mean, Dexter was about a little under 5'7", and typically he competed at about 230. You
Yeah,
know,
that's crazy because he did not
I
look
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, so I mean, him and Shupin, but Dexter will probably be a little bit bigger than Shupin, but as far as like Lunsford goes, the size are probably fairly comparable and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, yeah, Dexter he would compete at his stage weight was 230, and he
Wow.
was what just under 5'7" or so. So he wasn't that tall.
I didn't realize he was that short.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, they're running about they're running about the same size as Dexter. When he was on and stuff. So about 230. That's where they are.
and if you guys didn't catch the Olympia in the lineup, Lunsford and Chupin were the shortest guys on the stage. I mean, I know Ramy, he had to, I think he was 295 or somewhere in there on stage. That's a big boy.
Mhm.
And Lunsford was, he said he didn't give an exact weight, but he said he was 20 pounds heavier than he was last year. Uh, so he was probably
Close to
about
230.
235. Yeah. So, I mean, 230. I mean, you look in the comparison, and it doesn't look like he does not look small. Neither of them look small at
Right,
all.
right.
But it's kind of cool to see those smaller guys win like that and dominate because they dominated is what they did. I
Yeah,
mean, even Walker,
actually the top four because
yeah,
Curry is no taller than 5'7". Curry's
you're
about
right.
5'7" tops.
Yeah,
You know, so there were no Rammies, um what's um Paul Jack. There was no Andrew
yeah,
Jack.
Andrew
All these
Jack.
guys, that yeah.
That's somebody. Some people are gonna have to be watching out for that guy because you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see a lot of him unless he gets hurt or something happens with that guy. He's gonna be up there in the future because he's got height, symmetry. I mean, he's got all the tools for a top-notch bodybuilder. That I mean, in my opinion, he's got a small waist. He's got an excellent V taper. I mean,
Yeah, one of the things that I tend to do with a lot of Olympia, especially ones that I used to go to a lot and stuff, is you also you got to look down the lineup and stuff and see who's in the wings, who's in a position to really make an impact the following year and stuff. You got to understand right
yeah,
around this. I remember going to some Olympias to where Jay was placing 12th and stuff like that. Some of these people that the like a dynasty of Olympia wins, some of these guys were probably in that lower lineup. So
yeah,
people I'm thinking about, I'm looking at, first of all, I'm looking at Jack, seeing if he really, really, really gets it together and stuff, and see where he can go. But I'm sure somebody else I'm looking at, and he
yeah.
was happy with his placing. He placed 12th, and that's Crizzo.
Crizzo, yes,
Okay?
Crizzo's another one.
Because
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
about it is when you enter a contest of this level for the first time, it's like being to the Super Bowl for the first time and stuff. I mean, you gain a lot of knowledge.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you kind of know what you have to do next time, and that's what's turning in their heads
Yes,
right now. And with somebody like a Crizzo and a Jack, it's just basically, just tighten up. You know,
yep,
just tighten
yeah,
up. You got to bring that Olympia level conditioning and stuff. Just tighten it up. So I'm looking at Crizzo. I'm looking at Jack. Um, there's this other guy. His physique is very similar to Milo Sarcev. Very aesthetic physique and stuff.
hmm.
Extremely aesthetic physique. I wish I wrote his name down and stuff. Probably had some of the prettiest lines in the show. You know,
Huh,
and I tell you, like I said, he kind of reminds me of Milo Sarcev a little bit
yeah,
when he and stuff. And he is someone that I'm thinking like in a couple of years that he can be up in the top 5, top 6. I can see him being top 5, top 6. But Crizzo and Jack and some other folks, I mean, the thing about it, if they bring that wow factor
hmm.
that Lunsford and Shupin have with the size that they have,
Yeah,
you can't stop that.
yeah, no,
You can't
yeah, you
stop that.
can't, you can't.
You
Then they
can't.
were unstoppable. They were. I mean,
I remember when it was like I remember times when I was looking at Flex and some of the other Olympias and stuff, when I would go and I'm looking at Coleman, it's like, wow, man, Coleman's looking pretty good, dude. I think he's gonna be doing something here in a couple more years, and actually it turned out to be a little bit sooner than that and stuff. But I
Yep.
definitely remember watching Jay and stuff as he was coming up the ranks and stuff. When he's placing seventh and eighth and stuff like that. And sure enough. But right now, my eye is on Jack, and my
Yep.
eye is on Krizzo.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, and Samson's another one.
Samson is another one. Yeah. He is another one. Yeah. Yeah, he's and Walker going talk about going up the ranks. What was he, seventh last year?
So yeah, Walker. So the thing with Walker is he looked about like he did when he won that first Arnold.
New York. Oh, the
Yeah,
Arnold.
Arnold. He won when he won the Arnold and stuff. Walker, he's got that, but he hasn't improved any.
Not
The question
really.
now, is, I don't know if Hadi can. I don't know if Shupin can improve that much more, but we know there's room for improvement with Derek.
Yes. Yeah, he's super young too, right? In his early 20s or something.
So there's, and let's just see what he looks like between now and next year.
Yeah, right. Well,
So
look what he did in a year. He put on 20 pounds of lean muscle in a year. I mean, so 1 year.
Yeah, Shupin is I just can't see how he can get very much better. His conditioning, who really gets in condition like he does?
Yeah, that was nuts.
I mean, and with the size that he has, he's got plenty of size for his height.
Yeah.
We can't be going into Bonac territory and stuff. I mean, Bonac. I mean, I know he's got to be kind of disappointed in everything and stuff. But there's only so much that he can do with this.
You're right. He can't really get any bigger that would be noticeable.
He's gonna bring the same package that he did this year, and then kind of bank on Derek not improving that much.
Yeah,
because I think it's like a point to just separate them, just a couple of points.
It had to have been really close because
so it's not. Yeah, it was really close.
Yeah.
So any improvement on Derek's part, it kind of raises his chances of probably taking it exponentially. I mean,
how old is Chupin? Do you know?
I don't know how old he is. I don't.
Like he's been a contender for a while on the Olympias, right? I mean, he's been moving his way up and working his ass off.
Well, I'm glad he got this one. And, he's got $400,000.
Yeah.
And I just want to pivot a little bit and stuff. And I think another big disappointment was in the class of Zeke Ruffin. Did not make the top 5. I think he was 6. He was out of the top 5. And he said, "Hey, look, not making any excuses and stuff. All I can say is there's no bigger motivator for me than to get your butt handed to you. You know what I mean?" So,
yeah.
I
agree.
I'm expecting some good things from him next year and stuff. I think, they said his condition was off, but I think he needs to probably put on a little bit more size, though.
More size, yeah.
I mean,
because what was C-Bum? What was he coming? Were you coming in about 230, 240 or something?
He's close to the top of his limit. So
yeah,
and
what is the limit for that for his class?
I do not know right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either.
Don't know right off the top of my head.
I don't either.
But yeah, he to me the most popular athlete, in that entire event, it's not a bodybuilder, it's a class of physique guy, and that's Chris Bumstead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, he's pretty popular.
So I think I mean I don't see anybody I don't know how much the Brazilian guy can improve, to actually get him. I mean, I don't know what the scorecard was, so I don't know how close it was, but it was a clear, he was a clear winner. So
well, the rumor was C-Bum was going to retire after this. Once he got his trophy, he said, "By the way, that's false. I'm not retiring. I'm going to be here next year,
Oh,
You know,
he's having a ball. He's in a good place and stuff. I don't. I
yeah,
wonder. I'd like to know what the prize money was though.
40,000.
40,000.
Yep, 40,000 for classic. Yeah.
Forty
Uh,
thousand classic.
I believe fifth place got 6,000.
Mhm.
The odd thing is, I had my wife look it up. Uh, so for Miss Olympia, figure, bikini, all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
50,000 for first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then you got classic is 40,000, and obviously 400,000 for open. Kind of a weird way to do that.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what the purse is. So uh I mean, you take Lunsford, from 40,000 if he because he if he was to do the 212, he wanted one his 40, and he got second. So what was second place
I think
for
I think he got, was
150 or
it,
something?
he got second. I think it was 250,000. I think it was
Yeah.
250.
He made
I
the
know
right
Shupin
move.
got 400. He got 250, and the third place person I think got like 100,000.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
know Curry got like 40,000. Yeah, he said I know he can't be happy with that,
No.
but he got 40,000. He got four, but the top three they all got six figures.
Wow. Well, yeah, he made a good move on that one.
Personally speaking, I think the winner of every, you can keep the bodybuilding at 400,000, but I think the winner of every one of those, because they're Olympians,
They need to get more money.
I think they need to get six figures,
Yeah, I agree with
at
that.
least
I
a
agree
hundred
with that.
thousand,
I
at
agree with
least a
that.
hundred.
That show was sold out, by the way, too. There was no open seats. I don't know how I don't know how many seats
And
that.
then you got the streaming on top of that.
I bought it. It was $70, and it sucked too. I actually didn't even get to see. I watched prejudging. No, I watched prejudging on YouTube actually Saturday morning. But
Uh huh.
so streaming that, I watched the whole show, and then at the very last part, after they did, I think it was classic. After they hand out the awards of classic, it
Mm-hmm.
was I couldn't watch the rest of it. So I actually had to watch finals, the actual finals for open on YouTube.
They, I, they got to find a better way to do this.
Yeah, they
So
do.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, they were telling I'm pretty they were streaming all over the world and stuff. I mean,
Oh
everybody
yeah.
was looking in on it and stuff. But yeah,
But yeah, the purse needs to be bigger, man. I mean, to work all year round as a bodybuilder for the biggest show on the planet for a bodybuilder, and you get sixth place and you don't get nothing, and
yeah. I
fifth
mean,
place
yeah,
and
and the winnings, even the other to me, it's kind of like a it's it. I'm a pro, but I still see it more. I see it as a little bit more than an amateur, but I mean, the winnings,
yeah,
unfortunately for me, it's just that I'm in a position to where I can afford to do it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I mean, I've won shows and stuff. I got my checks and everything and stuff, but it doesn't add up to all
if
that
you
much. I mean,
you wouldn't be
it
paying the
pays some of
bills.
the expenses, but it's, to me, it's more about the branding and stuff. So,
Sure, yeah, and it is definitely for you. Yeah.
and if somebody was to say, "Hey, look, I want to make my living, being a professional bodybuilder," I mean, it it I'd say, yeah, well, good luck with that. You better be
Good
really, really,
luck.
really good, because the thing, like, you don't get the contracts and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
some people do, but if you're gonna have to be something really special
yeah,
to make some money here. Sure, have we had some millionaires and stuff? I mean, yeah, I mean Jay Cutler and Rich Gaspari and a lot of these guys, but they did some stuff outside of that too and stuff, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just more the branding and stuff, just
Yeah, and nowadays, I mean, if you got a big following on your social media and stuff like that, then and you're not a pro, or
yeah,
you
not
are
accepting
pro and you're
much.
not top notch, then that'll work for you. Like Seth Fioris is a good example. He's a pro. He hasn't even been competing for several years. He's doing pretty good for himself. He's got a supplement chain, which he has great supplements, Axe and Sledge. Well, he's an entrepreneur. He's into all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So he made it that way, so you
Yeah.
can, but it's all how hard do you want to work? I mean, I think all of us bodybuilders are all hard workers. We all have work ethic. Otherwise, we wouldn't be good at bodybuilding. We wouldn't, you know. But
That's true.
it's work. It's work, man. How hard you want to work, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I had somebody when I was training my last client tonight, you know, and he just young kid, you know, tall guy, and he was like, "So, can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Sure," you know. He says, "So, what motivates you? What motivates? Because this clearly this is not very comfortable, you know. It's not. I just love it. I just love doing it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. You know, I mean, it's just what I love to do. You know,
Yeah.
he's okay. Yeah, thank you. That's a, you know, I just want to know, and and you
So
have to love it. You
he
know,
felt the same way then.
huh?
Did he feel the same way?
I didn't ask. He just asked me the question. I answered it, and stuff, and that was it. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people why we do this, but we know why we do it,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
all that matters anyway.
So
I want to
you
go back
know,
to oh, go ahead.
yo, go ahead. No, no, no.
So I want to go back to what we got a couple minutes left, but I want to go back
Sure.
to what Arnold said. Remember, we watched Arnold,
Yeah.
and he was, and this makes sense, and I've seen this, but I didn't think about this when I was looking at Ramy. So Ramy's got some big delts, real big delts, and when he goes for the front double by, even the back double by, it made his arms look small because his delts were too big,
Mhm.
and that's huge, you know, as aesthetically, and it's something to think about when you're training it, because we train everything the same no matter what, so our symmetry is the same,
Yeah.
but you have
Nothing stands out.
yeah, but you get, you know, if you got a dominating muscle group, you can't undertrain that, and you can't over, you got to do everything the same, or you're going to end up with, you know, your symmetry is going to be off. Now I don't know why his, you know, was his delts like that last year too?
He's always had big shoulders.
Always
He's
big
had he
shoulders,
had
yeah.
big shoulders and big quads. Those are his hallmark muscle groups and stuff. You know, just big
Yeah,
shoulders, big quads.
he
You
does
know,
have
he's
some
got those big
enormous quads.
round quad. I mean, round shoulders and stuff, and he's got broad shoulders too. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. You know, when a lot of people have either one or the other. They
Mm.
have either well-developed delts and their shoulders may be a little narrow, or they've got long, clavicles and they've got their delts are like so, but they just got that broad shoulder. And then you just got those freaks that have it both. Broad
Yeah.
shoulders, great delts. That's Ramy right there.
Yeah. 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 His quads were, he definitely had the biggest quads on stage, but they weren't as conditioned as
But
some of the other guys.
and nobody's perfect. But I just with me, when you don't have that wow factor that kind of glazes you over and stuff, and then you really start analyzing that physique and stuff, because you're not getting hit with that wow factor. And his inner gastrocs are kind of flat, the inner calves.
Yeah. Huh.
They seemed a little on the flat side. If you just take a look at the video and stuff, like the
Yeah.
back double arm bicep, mainly in the back double arm biceps, when you really see it, that those inner gastrocs, they're kind of flat.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I honestly think he was just getting tired. I don't think he was posing at his maximum potential. As a matter of fact, the commentators at one point said, you know, he started like especially with the abdominal and thigh. As he was holding it longer, everything started popping a little bit better. I just don't think he was putting in 100% on each pose because he was tired. You
Hmm.
know, because he, you know, stuff started popping as he was holding it longer. And then you had the other guy, you know, Derek and Chupin. They were on point the whole time, you know,
You
holding
know,
it, getting in. Nick Walker was getting into poses right away. When they call pose, he was in that pose the whole time. You know, I don't
no,
know.
we heard from Dennis James about him and stuff. I like to hear from Chad though.
Yeah, that's
I
a
like to
good point.
know.
Yeah,
Chad wouldn't. I mean, Dennis trained him, but Chad's the one that was doing the diet and doing all the other stuff. And I'd like to hear what his take is on it and stuff. So.
yeah. We'll probably. I mean, in the coming week, we'll have get a lot of info. I think on a lot of
Hmm.
different
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I'll be waiting to hear for that. I mean, the videos are coming out every day, obviously,
Yeah,
about that
they're
stuff.
really they're pouring out now. So yeah.
Yeah, it was an awesome Olympia, man.
But you know,
Jeez.
but you know, the consensus with everybody is about the same. The
Yeah,
vast majority of people did not have him winning.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the vast majority of people had Chupin winning.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And they were
and
underdogs too. They were
right, and
underdogs.
there isn't this thing about, well, you know, well, honey, he doesn't speak English and blah 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 and this that and the other. You know, I figured it. No, he Heine won because he had the better physique that day.
That's right. That's right. That's
That's
all that
that's
counts.
there was no there was no politics or anything in
Nope.
it whatsoever. The
Nope.
best man actually won the show.
Yep. Yeah, the judges did a really good job on that. They did a really good job on that. I didn't see anything wrong except I thought Ramy should have got 6, but
Yeah,
that's
that's and I was about to say, and if they had put Rammy sixth, I wouldn't have contested it.
yeah, yeah, same here. Yeah,
I wouldn't have contested it.
same
You
here.
know, I mean, so you know, I think we can set that aside about, you know, political ramifications or and all that other stuff. No, I know what I saw, and
Yeah,
I'm in consensus with everybody else and stuff. So yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, we are out of time now.
All right.
So yeah, that was a good show and good talk about that. I mean, we could talk for hours about about
Oh,
the Olympia, I
absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
So next week we will have we're gonna do a rebuttal on dying to win, by the way, you guys. It's a
Article by the All Washington Post. Yeah.
yeah. So if you guys get a chance, read that. And if you can come up with some comments or something before we do the video, that would be awesome. But
Yeah. Great
we're
idea.
gonna we're gonna throw out our point of view on it and well, I'll tell you if you guys haven't watched, we're gonna tell you what it's about and stuff. So I think it's important for bodybuilding and the sport, and it's important for people, upcoming bodybuilders, to know about it. So uh for several different reasons. But anyway, we'll get to that next week. And you guys have a good night. And I guess it won't be Merry Christmas yet. It'll be Merry Christmas next week. Anyway, we'll get there next week. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Yep.